So hello everyone and welcome to the channel, and let's have a look here at the recent activity of the crypto markets and also some recent news. We have here obviously the this big red candle here since we came back down basically from this overbought condition that we had up here, and this is typically what you will see. I mean, if you start trading above these higher Bollinger Bands, that's a positive sign, of course, especially if the volatility has been decreased over a certain period of time, like here. And once we break above here, it's a sign that the trend is starting to go higher again, and we're seeing more positive vibes potentially as well from news and so on. And but then what you have to watch out for is, of course, at some point we will come back down again and find the middle level, and I guess that's what we did here. And right now we're just hovering around this median kind of moving averages here, and but we do have a crossover here which might be positive. So this whole downtrend here has kind of reversed. So and this is of course on the 4-hour chart, where we're not talking weekly or daily, so keep that in mind. But we can have a look here on the daily as well, and here we can see that the daily is clearly, it's still in a downtrend, and we really need to come above this 5,000 levels if we're going to start to see kind of a turnaround in the long term. And but on the weekly though, we're still on an uptrend here, so it poses an interesting situation where on the 4-hour we have a positive trend, on the daily not, but on the weekly we're still holding here, and it still has some potential. So overall it's not too bad actually, and so we'll just keep on watching next few days to weeks here, see what happens, if the news are positive enough, and if the Kabbalah decides to move the price higher, because I mean, unfortunately that's where we are at the moment. But the use of blockchain, I mean, it's not only about the price, although it's important, but we can also see some areas here where this technology, where the blockchain technology can actually be incorporated in a positive way for companies to improve their supply chain, as in this case. So here we have Mercedes-Benz to incorporate the blockchain technology in their supply chain. They have become one of the first global auto companies to incorporate the blockchain technology in their supply chain. This is something that, of course, we've been talking about as well over the last few months and years, that this is actually an area where it might make sense. And I think BMW as well, they had some test program working with a blockchain company to kind of track the cars and so on. And they're saying here, they keep on going here, Wilco Stark, member of the Divisional Board of Management, says blockchain technology has the potential to fundamentally revolutionize our procurement processes and could affect nearly the entire value chain. So it's good to see that it's starting to spread into some of these, I mean, real industries as well. The blockchain prototype opens up completely new ways to make purchasing processes simpler and safer. So this is a good case of where the actual blockchain technology can improve a certain industry. I think that there were talks as well, talking about supply chain and so on, and tracking stuff, that Maersk, the shipping company, that they could potentially as well look into this. I was reading somewhere. Not a cryptocurrency, but Ukraine completes national digital currency pilot. So I mean, this is another area that is kind of growing lately, that central banks and so on, they're having a look at this. Obviously this is not exactly what some of the freedom fighters are talking about, but it's interesting to see as well that the technology is being used even for these things. And they're saying here as well, we're not talking about cryptocurrency, we're talking about digital currency of the central bank. It can be implemented on both the centralized registry technology and the decentralized one. This is a completely separate issue, which follows from the target model chosen. And so a little bit of action there. And then we have also NASDAQ here, the crypto index platform launch, a giant step for adoption. So the long-awaited NASDAQ Bitcoin and Ethereum indexes lifted off the launch pad this week, signaling another giant step towards mainstream acceptance and adoption. Bitcoin enthusiasts and Twitter personality, this Alex, commented on how big this development will be for the general crypto adoption. So Bitcoin and Ethereum prices will now be displayed in thousands of offices and trade floors across the globe alongside top commodities and fiat currencies. And so that's certainly a positive for the space. Yeah. Billionaires such as Warren Buffett are still not convinced, calling Bitcoin a delusion with no unique value at all. He compares it with Wall Street, adding rather irreverently that it attracts charlatans. Yeah, I guess he's of course one of the puppets for the fiat industry, and has been given you know, the blank card to make money there as he wants. So that's to be expected, I guess, for new technologies and so on, that some people want to protect the old stuff with all their forces. XRP, I mean, this is it gained a bit, I guess, as Coinbase Pro deposits go live, and it's the remarkable thing is how XRP price is moving up in this quick way. Of course, 5% it's not huge or anything in terms of in the crypto area, and but at least they're doing something here, Coinbase, and I mean, of course, they're one of the biggest exchanges, and you know, very successful in what they do as well. So it's kind of an interesting development. And once again, we see, although you know, a lot of people don't like Ripple because it's not really it's not really this kind of decentralized blockchain that you know, one group of people want to have, but it still has its uses, and we have seen from many other well, countries and organizations as well, they want to use Ripple as kind of a new Swift, and so as long as they find some uses for it, I think that's positive. Crypto roundup, Samsung Galaxy, I mean, this was mentioned as well, I think about a week ago. The Galaxy S10 to support Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and all ERC20 tokens. And Russia to develop oil-backed crypto, maybe. I mean, we have seen, of course, Venezuela developing this kind of oil-backed crypto as well in their country. And so that will be interesting. Have to follow up on that. Apparently, the former energy minister in Russia proposes this development of oil-backed cryptocurrency, and we'll see how that goes. And the fact that Samsung, which is such a kind of leading technology company, that they will now support this as well. I mean, that I think that shows us as well, this is not by all means going away, but we're more in an area here where things are starting to develop, and more, and we'll just have to see how big it will get, and at what time. But it doesn't look like it's going away. It's just being kind of controlled at the moment, as we have seen since the last 12 months. There's no crypto winter in Argentina. Startups ramp up to meet demand. And here's a guy saying, I was raised with my father telling me never to trust the Argentine peso. And of course, we know all the economic crises that this country has had. over the past 20, 30, 40 years. And my story was the story many Argentinians had. Santiago says, founder of the blockchain startup Democracy Earth Foundation and investor in several Argentinian crypto startups. So it's interesting to see that there's seems to be demand for this technology where people have been more suppressed and where the economic stability has not been maybe the best over the last 30 years or so. But it's also coming to other sectors, as we saw, Mercedes-Benz and so on. The sector is growing. It's growing very well. It's providing lots of jobs, and people are using these technologies for real survival needs and finding themselves in a better world than if they had to trust the government. And as we know, I mean, the way the governments have grown over the last 20 years or so, I mean, they're just becoming monsters all over the place. The EU and so on, the big states, communist states wanted to control everybody. And we'll see how it develops, but it's nice to see that these countries also have some startup talents and putting some investor money into this to see where it might lead and so on, and where value can be added in certain industries. And I mean, recently as well in Spain and the whole Mediterranean area have seen a collaboration together as well, together with Malta and I wonder if it wasn't Italy and so on, and to also try to create a bigger kind of group and kind of Commonwealth development plan for these areas, and so that's very interesting to see as well. Okay, I think that's about it, guys. Not keeping it too long here, and until the next time.